Hi, good Thursday. Welcome back. It's the 18th. I know I said this yesterday, same thing. Can you believe it's the 18th day of April already? Indeed, it is. We're looking forward to an Easter weekend that's still not shaping up to be the very best weather wise, except for Easter Sunday. Definitely the bright spot, but not the brightest temperature wise, but comparatively, it most certainly is going to be the perfect day for Easter in comparison to your Good Friday forecast and the Saturday that's looking just rather cold and dismal as well. It's an updated forecast, mind you, and it's not gotten any better, but we're still looking at some sunshine and decent temperatures for your Easter Sunday. More on Good Friday and your Saturday prior in just a few moments. A couple of things tonight making headlines. Johnson County indictments, a slew of which returned by the sitting Johnson County grand jury. I'll make my way through as many as possible, as quickly as possible. A lot of serious charges, the Sagersville individual and some others as well indicted. Also, police didn't have to look very far to serve one of these indictment warrants because a little day drinking just after she'd gotten out of jail yesterday made her easy to find in the Big Sandy jail this morning or yesterday when they went to serve the indictment warrant. More of that in a few moments. I also can tell you one of my scheduled appointments today was to go to the Career and Technical Center at the McGoffin County High School and sit down with some students outstanding and headed to the nationals in their respective fields or categories. Well, since I'm going to be at the high school for another major story tomorrow, we've kind of put that off, and also some scheduling conflicts today. So tomorrow I have the privilege of sitting down and talking with and interviewing and focusing on the outstanding accomplishments academically and athletically on behalf of a host of a number of students. Please join us for that special program tomorrow on your Good Friday. I've got other news to get to tonight, and I'm still not going to be able to get all in what I have, but we'll work on it. An increased threat of wildfires is our really only word of warning or caution in our special weather statement tonight. Very dry conditions over the last couple of days have left leaves and the dead grasses and dead branches susceptible to burn very quickly. Although the air will not be as dry today, winds will be stronger, and that's creating a threat of wildfires. So keep that in mind. We're still very well in the midst of forest fire hazard season. No burning between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. More on your forecast in just a few moments. Going back a little ways weather-wise to that flooding in February and March, well, we now have an official disaster declaration signed by President Donald Trump, who declared that a major disaster does exist in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and most importantly to us in the eastern part of the state, and he's ordered as such federal assistance to supplement Commonwealth and local recovery efforts in the areas affected by severe storms, straight line winds, flooding, landslides, and mudslides from February the 6th through March the 10th, and of course this greatly affects McGoffin and Johnson counties. No individual aid from FEMA, as we painfully had to cover on a couple of occasions, but this does clear the way for local city and county governments to recoup costs from repairs that they will make to roads, bridges, and other infrastructure. And keep in mind, while we had about $3 million and then some worth of damages here in McGoffin County, going back to a report that I just aired yesterday, those funds are to replace county and city spent funds. And it was just yesterday that the McGoffin County Fiscal Court met, and Judge Executive Matt Wireman said that they had just received some FEMA money from 2015 they didn't know they were going to get. So it's not an immediate thing. It's not a quick thing by any stretch of the imagination, but it is going to happen. Dozens of counties, and of course McGoffin, Johnson, and a host of others are included in that area, fortunately. But once again, it's a long road to travel. It's the biggest grant they've ever gotten, and it's actually for the University of Kentucky, who will be partnering with the Commonwealth of Kentucky as a state. $87 million in a grant, one of four, I believe, of this type to help reduce opioid overdose deaths. So it's a 4-year study that is designed to try to cut opioid addiction and overdoses by 40% over 3 years, I believe, once the study is completed. Kentucky currently ranks 5th in the nation for opioid deaths. There are 16 counties, in case you're wondering, that this study considers highly affected counties or communities, and they are Fayette, Jessamine, Clark, Kenton, Campbell, Mason, Greenup, Franklin, Jefferson, Knox, Boyd, did I say Carter, Floyd counties, Bourbon, Madison, and Boyle. Those including considered to be the worst among those in our area and our state. The ultimate goal, once again, to decrease opioid overdoses, deaths associated to the drugs by 40% over a span of 3 years. We certainly hope it is at least that effective, if not much more. Indictments forthcoming after these words, as were returned by the Johnson County Grand Jury this week, in just a second. Be ready to feed your bunch over the Easter weekend with Eye of Round Roast, only $3.79 a pound at your Sayersville Save-A-Lot. Turkey breast, $1.39 a pound. You can get big 8-pound bags of russet potatoes, just $2.99, and the freshest of pineapples, only $1.69 each. Keep the kids happy with Capri Sun, only $2.19 a pack, and everybody happy with Pillsbury orange or cinnamon rolls, just $1.88 each. Plus hundreds of other specials all through the store. No gimmicks, just low prices at your Sayersville Save-A-Lot. Founded in 1974 on the idea that we all deserve and need the very best in medical services and patient-oriented care, but at reasonable prices we can afford, Big Sandy Healthcare and Hope Family Medical Center have also put together a team of professionals and providers, all at one location, all with you and your family in mind. With pharmacy, dental, lab and x-ray, pediatrics, adult medicine, behavioral health, and more. Come see us, for anything, at Hope Family Medical Center in Sayersville. From brakes, exhaust, suspension, fluid changes, to expert collision and auto body, to turning your 4x4 or diesel from mild to wild, get real auto maintenance, paint, and repair at Black Smoke Performance in Dixie of Sayersville. 349-8785. At Parkway Gun and Pawn, out the door means taxes and a box of shells are included, and all these specials are out the door prices. So you can pick from these Heritage Arms 22 revolvers, $149 out the door, or this one for $139. This Judge shoots 45 long Colts and 4 10 shells, and it's out the door for $449. 9mm semi-automatics as low as $219, all just in and soon to be gone at Parkway Gun and Pawn.
I'm Bill Tinker. I've spent the past 19 years defending insurance companies in car crashes, truck crashes, and slip and falls. Are you involved in a case like that? Is the insurance company giving you the runaround about your medical bills, your benefits, or your lost wages? Contact me at McFarland Tinker Law Office. With our combined experience of over 58 years, we're here ready to work for you.
Just like that, we've jumped into the spring allergy season with all the buds and blooms, tree and grass pollen, mold, and all the nasal congestion, sneezing, itchy nose and eyes and throat that they cause. Don't get caught off guard. Protect yourself daily with a quick trip to Parkway Pharmacy for over-the-counter and prescription relief. And you can always log into parkwaypharmacy.com to have your prescriptions ready when you get there at Parkway Pharmacy in Sayersville. Don't drive or let your family drive in this or this before doing this. Stopping at Conley Tire in Staffordsville for brakes, oil, alignment, and of course, tires. Thousands of tires in stock every day to fit anything with 6 months no interest financing and over 33 years of quality service with a smile. Conley Tire in Staffordsville. Dozens of indictments returned by the sitting grand jury, a great number for flagrant non-support, some indictments for bail jumping, some for simple possession. I say simple even though many of the possession counts are for methamphetamine and other controlled substances, but nevertheless the most serious indictments of which we will cover tonight, beginning with the following. We'll begin with Ratina Meek, who was listed as currently being an inmate in the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center, but indicted on charges of assault in the third of a correctional officer and assault in the third of an emergency management personnel. She assaulted an officer with the Big Sandy Jail and a nurse on March the 17th of this year. Lisa Spradlin of Paintsville was indicted on several counts: assault in the third of a police officer, theft by unlawful taking, attempted disarming of a police officer, assault in the fourth degree, and resisting arrest. A long list of charges per the indictment that relates to February the 9th of this year when she assaulted Deputy James Prim with the Johnson County Sheriff's Department and then tried to take his taser away from him while he was trying to arrest her. She was in possession of a cell phone stolen from a Brian Palmer, who she also is accused of assaulting as well, and then resisting arrest during the entire incident. We'll come back to Lisa Spradlin in a separate report not related to the indictments in just a few moments. These next two indictments go back to a theft in August of 2016 in Johnson County, where deputies began an investigation into the search of a stolen side-by-side that was one of a string of thefts along Kentucky Route 201. On this particular occasion, as I can recall reporting, Johnson County Court Clerk Sally Holbrook and her husband Winfield had their side-by-side stolen. It was found a short time later sitting in the middle of 201, just ragged out after it had been taken for a joyride through the creek. The vehicle pretty much totaled. They had security footage of the theft and began a search for two men, and those two now officially indicted for that 2016 theft. Those being Justin D. Combs of Wittensville, indicted for receiving stolen property for that side-by-side valued at about $14,000. He was also indicted for being a persistent felony offender in the first degree because he's got at least 2 prior felonies on his record. He's been jailed since August of 18 on trafficking, escape, resisting, endangering the welfare of a child, and other charges. The other defendant in this particular case, accused of stealing the side-by-side along with him, is Ryan Selvage of Inez. He, too, indicted for receiving stolen property, complicity, and he, too, indicted for being a persistent felony offender in the first degree because he's also got at least 2 prior felonies. Alexander James of Van Leer was indicted for theft by unlawful taking of an automobile, fleeing and evading police in the first degree, resisting arrest, operating on a suspended or revoked operator's license. This goes back to just this past February when he stole a vehicle, a 2001 Chrysler belonging to a Tennessee woman. He tried to flee authorities and resisted when they finally were able to apprehend him. He was driving on a suspended or revoked driver's license and has been since indicted. Also indicted alongside him was another individual, Alexis Carter Boulali, as she also goes by. She, involved in the same theft, indicted on theft by unlawful taking, resisting arrest, and disorderly conduct in the second degree. A Sayersville man was indicted on an array of charges. Brandon Simpkins of Sayersville, indicted for burglary in the third, possession in the first being methamphetamine, receiving stolen property, possession in the third for another drug, and being a persistent felony offender in the first degree. This past March the 18th, he was found to have broken into a recreational vehicle that he didn't own. He was in possession of methamphetamine, buprenorphine. He was also in possession of several items, tools, hardware, and other things that were stolen from a Van Leer residence, and he has since been indicted. And he's also got more than 2 felonies on his record, so he's indicted for a persistent felony offender charge as well, and his bail was set at $15,000. A couple of trafficking indictments, one against Kristen Cook of Paintsville for trafficking in marijuana, trafficking in a controlled substance, that being methamphetamine, trafficking in heroin, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Her bond set at $10,000. And Robert Spradlin of Paintsville was indicted for trafficking in methamphetamine, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, 2 counts, actually a total of 5 counts. He had several different firearms, long arms, and handguns in his possession when he was said to have been in trafficking or attempting to traffic in methamphetamine. And he also had a large array or wide array of drug paraphernalia in his possession as well. His bond, too, set at $10,000. Also, going back to that Lisa Spradlin indictment, authorities didn't have to go far to execute that warrant. A little day drinking immediately after being released from jail yesterday resulted in another round of serious charges levied against her. We'll go into that after we return from the break, which follows tonight's McGoffin Farm Bureau community calendar with a few Easter reminders. Yeah, of course, a lot happening in lieu of the upcoming holiday. The Stinson United Baptist Church, for example, and reminder, has services nightly through Saturday night at 7 p.m. and Easter sunrise services set for Sunday at 7 with, of course, a breakfast to follow and services following that at 11 o'clock this Sunday. You are invited to join Stinson United Baptist Church and several guest ministers. You're also invited to be a part of the Good Friday Crosswalk as they'll be bearing the cross through Sayersville. They'll start at the Ramey Park at 6 o'clock tomorrow, the first shelter as you go down to the park on the right, and then they'll make their trek bearing the cross, as Jesus did, through the city of Sayersville. for Good Friday. And a benefit to be held this coming Saturday in honor of Licia Wireman. That's Elizabeth Licia Dyer Wireman. She's recently been diagnosed with endometrial carcinoma, and this is to help offset travel and other medical-related costs. 11 in the morning till 7 Saturday evening, they're going to have all sorts of wonderful food for sale, homemade baked goods, a benefit auction starting at 2. Also live music by the Russell family if you can help. There's some numbers there on the bottom of your screen. You can also come by this Saturday as well. And it's right there in front of me. I just couldn't find it yesterday. The Kiwanis Club of Sagersville is having their first annual Easter egg hunt. As I told you yesterday, I just couldn't find the time, and right there it is. It is this Saturday starting at 1 o'clock at the Sagersville City Park, which is the grassy lot across from City Hall. Age groups ranging from 1 to 10. They've got prizes, family fun, bring your own basket. Now, of course, Saturday's weather is also not looking too good, and they're, I think, going to maybe reschedule that later for Sunday. I think is the plan if they get rained out. But right now they're hoping to have their first ever Easter egg hunt this Saturday starting at 1. Also Saturday still set for this weekend, 4 o'clock, will be an Easter egg hunt in the Royalton community put together by Larry Lanning, Paul Bailey, Marlene Howard, Karen Merritt, council members, and they hope that you'll join them. If you've got some donations, eggs, prizes, candy that you'd like to make, drop them off at the Senior Center tomorrow. And adults, and that goes for, the kids who might not be hunting eggs as well. They could use your help that day too. If you want to be there at 2 o'clock at the trailhead there at the mouth of Oakley for the park and ride, the Dawkins Trail park and ride, well, that's where you can go and help them and have a wonderful Easter egg hunt. Sunrise services also this weekend at the Sagersville Free Will Baptist Church, Easter Sunday at 7, and then Sunday services later that morning at 11 with special preaching. And then, of course, our calendar is here for other Easter announcements if you want to get them in tomorrow or anytime you have something of that nature for your church, group, organization, nonprofit, what have you, or birthday or anniversary you want to let everyone know about. From there, we'll go on to tonight's funeral service announcements, and we'll begin with that of Patricia Jane Weininger Cravens, 58, of Mount Sterling, who passed away on the 13th. She was married to John Cravens, who survives, and she's also survived by her sons, Justin Cravens and Chris Mashburn, and daughter Jessica Wildenhouse. Visitation is this evening. Service is set for in the morning at 11 from the Magoffin County Funeral Home. Laureen Gardner Hamilton, 78, of Hamilton Drive, passed away this week on yesterday's date, preceded in death by her husband, Harold Robert Hamilton. She survived by sons, Ron, Jonathan, and Robert Hamilton, Brian McDaniel, and Robert Pitts, and a daughter, Sandy Hamilton. Visitation is tonight, all day tomorrow, and prior to services Saturday at 1. Visitation and services from the Sagersville Funeral Home. And 72-year-old Howard Morgan Joseph of Royalton Road passed away yesterday, the son of the late Morgan and May Howard Joseph. Visitation is going to be after 6 o'clock tomorrow. Services will be held Saturday at 1 from the Magoffin County Funeral Home. Whether it's for a little pre-vacation tan, or to look and feel better, or just to come and relax for a few minutes, get your perfect shade on at Tropical Isle Tanning with the very best in modern tanning. They've got 6 beds, including their fabulous 7-minute stand-up bed and their 12-minute super bed with bronzing bulbs. Or get a perfect sunless glow with Versa Spa spray tans, which are 20% off all the month of April. At Tropical Isle Tanning in Sagersville and Prestonsburg, open 7 days a week. Spring's here, well, at the seasonal shop, with new arrivals in every department, like women's mud pie and Charlie Page clothes, the perfect addition to your wardrobe. And Simply Southern is simply fully stocked, and they've got a lot of new items, new short sleeve tees, key rings, planners, caps, wallets, purses, and more. And speaking of more, Mary Square is at the shop. This beautiful line makes a perfect gift or a great way to brighten your day, featuring everything from Bible covers to notebooks to lanyards, badge holders, bottles, cups, and ID holders. And their home decor section is absolutely filled wall to wall with new arrivals, all to make your house the home you want it to be. All at Fraser's Prater Drugs Seasonal Shop. To maximize your savings, make the new digital coupon kiosk your first stop at the new IGA.
Hey Salyersville, whether you're a paper couponer or a digital couponer, we've got ways to save you money here at Salyersville IGA. After you've registered your name and phone number, the available coupons will come up on the screen, such as save $1 off IGA gallon milk, or save $1 off Kingsford charcoal, or save $2 off Tide Pods. So once you've clipped the coupons that you want, you can see which coupons are available in your digital wallet. You can sign out, and then you're ready to shop. It only takes a few seconds to sign up, and our friendly staff is always happy to help. So remember to click, shop, and save at Salyersville IGA.
Hi, I'm attorney Jeff Lovely. When hiring an attorney, experience does matter. For over 20 years, I've been representing clients throughout Eastern Kentucky. We are a full-service law firm, representing clients who've been injured in car accidents or at work, representing clients who need to file bankruptcy, representing clients who've been charged with a crime. For all your legal needs, contact my office when it matters. We have 2 locations for your convenience. In Salyersville at 349-4522 and West Liberty at 743-1965.
At Salyersville National Bank, they know your house is much more than your home. It's an investment, and for many of us, the biggest we'll ever make. And whether it's for needed repairs and maintenance, or a new addition or renovation to give you some more room and more equity, let Salyersville National Bank deal with all the financial work and worry. Real and real competitive, hometown, homegrown, home improvement loans at Salyersville National.
Appalachian Wireless has a question for you. Would you rather pay $650 or $66 for a smartphone? If you think this answer is simple, then the Appalachian Advantage plan is for you. Pay less upfront for today's hottest smartphones, and then pay just a few dollars more every month on the monthly bill. Many smartphones are $5 a month or less after you factor in the $20 discount from the Advantage plan compared to the contract offering. Better service, bigger savings. That's today's Appalachian Wireless. Payment agreement required. See store for details.
It's a new day of deals every day at Parkway Gun and Pawn with an always new selection of like-new musical instruments, power and hand tools, not to mention jewelry, games, guns and ammo, and popular hard-to-find electronics from Guitar Hero to amps to a pro-quality karaoke machine just in. It's all here today, gone tomorrow for pennies on the dollar at Parkway Gun and Pawn. Now going back to Lisa Spradlin, police did not have to look very hard to find her to serve her indictment handed down this week by the Johnson County Grand Jury for assaulting a police officer and another man, as she was booked just yesterday afternoon right around 4 o'clock for other assault charges after a little day drinking just moments after she was released from jail earlier yesterday morning. This after Trooper Dustin Thompson from Post 9 says he got a call for assistance from the Johnson County Sheriff's Department about a physical domestic situation on Hill Street in Van Leer yesterday, and when the trooper arrived at the residence of Philip Palmer, he found Palmer standing on the front porch with Sheriff Doug Saylor and saw that Palmer had been assaulted. He had blood on the right side of his face, numerous scratches to both of his arms. He was bleeding in numerous locations. And he asked the resident where the perpetrator was, at which time he pointed to the residence and inside and stated that she had forced him out, she being Lisa Spradlin, and had locked the door behind him. And just after forcing entry into the residence, the trooper says that he heard a neighbor yell and saying that Spradlin was at that moment running across the backyard. He looked around the corner and saw her running and ordered her to stop numerous times. She didn't do so. She kept running. He gave chase, and after a few steps, he caught her on Kentucky 302. And she basically just sat down and on the edge of the guardrail and then just rolled backwards off the guardrail, losing her balance or intentionally or otherwise. He finally got her into cuffs, walked her back to his cruiser, and in doing so, he knew that she was giving off a strong odor of alcohol, appeared to be manifestly under the influence, and refused to get into the cruiser. Initially, he finally convinced her to do so, but as soon as she got in the back seat, she starts kicking the glass, screaming and yelling. And then he went back to the victim and asked how he got his wounds. He said that Lisa Spradlin just got out of jail that morning and started drinking whiskey as soon as she had, and she got drunk and then started assaulting him and continued to do so even after he got on the ground trying to just defend himself. Later, Spradlin was taken first to the hospital to be medically cleared. She was screaming, cursing, yelling throughout the emergency room, still resisting, and she even spit on the trooper's uniform. He had to use pepper spray inside the hospital in her face to get her to calm down and get her under control, and eventually she was medically cleared and taken to the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center, during which she told the officer that she'd just gotten home from jail that morning and started drinking Jim Beam, and that things apparently went south from there. So with all of that said, tomorrow is Friday, and I mentioned at the top of the program I've got to be tomorrow at the Career and Technical Center to talk with some students who are going on to a national level competition in several different areas. Also, a couple of outstanding athletes signing tomorrow for their letter of intent to go on and further their athletic and educational careers at various universities. So a big day there, and I've still got to finish the Gulf County Board of Education meeting and maybe some other local government meetings as well. I'm going to try to squeeze as much in tomorrow night as I can. With that said, I'm only going to leave you with this tonight. Your Licking Valley RACC forecast, which has been tweaked some, not for the better, but still, Easter Sunday looks to be the bright spot amongst your holiday. Beginning with tonight, if you want to call it a low, we will. 62 degrees. We will see clouds on the increase tonight and shower chances out and ahead of what we're going to see tomorrow and Saturday. We're talking about a 40% chance of showers, mainly after 3 a.m. during the overnight and early morning. So a dry into your Thursday. Friday is going to be anything but dry. We should see around 69 degrees for your Good Friday, but the forecast is not going to complement any outdoor plans that you may have. 69 degrees, cloudy skies, shower chances right now, well, a likelihood. A quite likelihood. 70% rather, as we get close to 70 degrees. 60% chance of showers continuing on through your Friday afternoon and evening, and we might pick up a total rainfall amount of about an inch by the time it's all said and done. Not really worried about thunderstorms as of right now, but definitely a lot of showers that'll add up to some significant rain as far as dampening any plans that you may have outside for your Good Friday. And as we've been talking about for days, temperatures are going to plummet for your Saturday, around 49 degrees for your Saturday. Cloudy skies, southwesterly winds 6 to 8. And maybe another quarter of an inch of rain or so, I think, in all Saturday, and showers continuing possibly into Saturday night. Still mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures into the upper 30s Saturday night. We will rebound, not quite as much as what we had thought, but we will rebound for your Easter Sunday. Right now, I think there's about a 20% chance of showers lingering in the morning up until about 9 a.m., but after that, out the door to church and where have you, we should be dry, and we should hit around 68 degrees. It's going to be a slow go to get there from 39, but 68 degrees for your Easter Sunday. Sunday night, things calm down, clear out, partly cloudy skies, and a low of 51 to finish out the holiday. Now, we'll start off Monday on a nice note. If you have an extended weekend, that's going to be a keeper. We'll get close to 80 on your Monday, 79, mostly sunny, and 80 on your Tuesday, close to 80 on your Wednesday, but you'll see shower chances work their way back into the picture. 20% Tuesday, 40% Wednesday, 40% on your Thursday. We'll hold on to the low 30s, or rather low 70s, I think, by Thursday, but clouds will be on the increase, as will shower chances. That's it for tonight. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Hope to see you back here tomorrow. Thanks for watching.